Okay, let's make this ad in less than 10 minutes. So this render was inspired by a post I saw on Pinterest that is made by Motion Inspiration. He is a creator on Instagram, and I think he uses Houdini. He has some good renders. And let's do this here. It's a simple in setup, but can be complicated if you approach it in the wrong way. Let's take a look at the project itself. You can get the project file free on Blender Everything. So we start here with a pitch that is split into different pieces, and then we get the rest of the animation. This setup is done through geometry nodes. I had to cut through the pitch because you can't just instance these around a point to turn this into a sphere. It won't match. I wanted each piece to be an actual cut of the original pitch, and you can see that everything splits. And this is Procedural. Let me first delete this back. I can reduce the number of cuts I have. So right now I have 17, is it? I can change that to maybe 3, and you can see that the split. This works procedurally. You can make it 4, however many I want. I think these light pieces actually look better. Maybe I should have went with those. But the setup is very simple. I start up with the splitting all happens within these nodes. So the way I do that is I use Boolean, the mesh Boolean to cut through this. The easiest way to cut through something like this is using a star. Is using a star like this. I use this as a profile for this line to create a cutter that looks like this. I also need to make sure that the end caps are turned on, otherwise the cutter won't work very well. I tried several ways to cut this, but yeah, using the star was the most efficient because now you can increase the number of points, and that will equal to the number of cuts you get. So you can, when you reduce this, you get less or you get more. That's the easy part. Now the hard part is centering the pivot points of these apples so that you can easily rotate them whenever you want, and that setup is done here. Basically turning these into instances and realizing that instances and finding the centers of this so that I can center the pivot point and then turn this back to one instance and then bring back the offset, the original offset, then go back to all the pieces. Since this is a for each loop, you can examine the project. Again, it's going to be free on Blender Everything, and take a look at that. I can bake this since booleans can be a bit heavy, so if you want you can bake this so that it doesn't, but I found that even when you don't bake it, it's quite fast. Here I'm just setting the materials for the inside part of the pitch. Here I was setting up some masks that I don't think I even used most of these. Here I'm just setting up rotations so that I can rotate these in that shape, in this shape here. Then I push these out by just using the position and then scaling it out. That allows me to scale this in or out just like that. And here I'm just giving this a small rotation as we go in. It's a very simple setup. Again, take the project files. So that's the pitch, and then we also have these. What are these? Are these they cherries? I'm not sure, but they're very simple to make. It's this here. It's just a simple mesh like this with distributed points. With points distributed on it, and then an instance, a sphere that is stretched, getting me something like this. Most of the detail is handled by the material, which is also not that complicated. It's just a simple principal BSDF that gives me the color I want, and with some subsurface scattering. I also have subsurface scattering on the pitch to get it to look correct. Let's go back to geometry nodes here for the pitch. Okay, so you can see we have that, and the pitch, these berries, I just call them berries, and the leaves are generated using this spiral. So a simple spiral like this, you can set up the radius to be this shape. I have a trim node in case I want to trim this, but this transformation is just to rotate it to make it continuously orbit. Then I turn this into points where I instance the cherries and the leaves, and the way I animate it is just by animating the scale of each instance based off the length of the curve or spiral to give me this animation. It's a very simple animation. I'm using the same setup, just a duplicate with a different object, a slice of the pitch to give me this. I can increase the count. Very simple setups. Also, I'm doing this for the leaves, and the rest is just animating the camera to fly into this spiral. Then the effect before the split, you can see we have the pitch in shape. So for that, I just switch between the original and then the split up version at frame 14. It's very quick, you barely see it in the animation. So that's how we get to that. The rest is just setting up some lighting. I have a light for the back. Let me first get rid of all of these lights. So I have a point light for the back to give me light in the back, and then I have a light for the front to give me some light in the beginning here. It's not enough, so I have a top light and then a back light just to give me a rim light, just like that, and that's enough for the lighting. For the lighting, I have the animations are just a little bit offset so that they don't play back at the same time. But you can see that it's not that different from. You can see that it's not that different from this. By the way, all the links are going to be added, including the links, the videos. You can build on top of this to create these different layers, and in fact, you can even use the same node setup we have done and just change up the assets a bit to get these details. It should be very, very simple to do. Nothing that complicated. It's even here, you just switch up the objects, change up the background and the lighting a bit, and you're good to go. Anyway, if you want to check out the project files, it's going to be on blendereverything.com. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.